Bing bong. Welcome back to the Hidden Gem Network. It is incredible to see you all here, but let's just get right into it because there's a lot of news, very urgent news that is just happening. As a matter of fact, there's even more urgent news before I hit the record button that just came out from Sesta, so the founder of Wonderland. Let's talk about the important news. Now, I see a lot of videos that have popped up today specifically talking about Wonderland and Daniele Sesta going ahead and releasing that they're coming out with a new way to govern. There's basically a new governance strategy for Wonderland TIME. Now, here's the thing. When I saw all these videos, everybody was talking about how incredible it was because we're able to go ahead and use this new form. And I'm not going to talk about this entire article because there's probably so many videos that you've watched already, but I'm going to give you my outlook and my opinion on this. And then we're going to get to the new juicy stuff with SushiSwap and what just happened. This is crazy. But listen, long story short is they have a form. Wonderland now has a form where you can go ahead and have open discussion. I am such a fan of open discussion in the in the crypto community, especially in the DAO field, the DeFi field. It is so important that us as the participants are the people in the conversation. This is what DeFi is about. It's about us, the regular people, having control. And now, aside from the form, you're able to use snapshot.org, and Snapshot lets you link your wallet, prove how many tokens you hold of Wonderland in this case, and then you're allowed to vote on whatever you want the protocol to potentially do. Now, this is important. I've never said this before because I don't want to, put anything negative. It's not negative, but I don't want it to be put in a negative connotation, and please don't take it this way. I love Wonderland. I love Wonderland, okay? However, DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations, right? So right here, decentralized autonomous organizations, AKA the organization, AKA participants, us, have the power. If you look at something like Olympus DAO, the token holders, the participants have been doing this for so long already. They use snapshot.org. Wonderland is a DAD, not a DAO. It's a decentralized, the way that I looked at it, / kind of look at it, but I'll tell you why it's not bad, is a DAD rather than a DAO, is because it's a decentralized autonomous dictatorship. Dictatorship is used in a negative connotation in just regular society. In this case, it's phenomenal because Daniele Sesta is a genius. He's a mad lad. He's a revolutionist, I guess. So the power for Olympus DAO participants have always been with the participants, not the founders. With Wonderland, and let me reiterate this and back this up, with Wonderland right here, we can see that on December 2nd, this was a genius call. Again, this is why I don't care and I still participated in Wonderland, even though Daniele Sesta has the power. I don't care because this man is smart. And I'm going to back up this claim in just a second. So right over here, nobody got to vote on this. If you're holding Wonderland TIME, you had to just be okay with Sesta doing this on the platform. He sold 893,000 AVAX via Almeida over-the-counter desk for this many just gazillions of dollars. However, if it was Olympus DAO, the actual participants would need to vote for that to happen. And that can take days. That can take a long period of time. With Wonderland, the power is with Sesta. He makes that decision, not us. But look at this. On December 2nd, he sold AVAX, right? So this is from the Treasury. So you can see right over here. I don't even think he talks about, it's coming from, okay, whatever. So he's swapping all stables to MIM. So again, he's swapping any type of stables in the actual Treasury to Magic Internet Money, which again is also pegged to the dollar. But let's take a look at AVAX, what happened on December 2nd. This is why I'm saying being the dictator in Wonderland is not a negative connotation, because look at December 2nd of AVAX. AVAX was $116. Where are we now? AVAX is $87. If we had a massive supply of AVAX in the Treasury, this would have been pretty detrimental to the Treasury balance, because again, you got to understand is that the Treasury held a lot of AVAX, given that you see right here, 893,000 AVAX at the time was $115 or so, and it's dropped a significant percent. So this was such a phenomenal executable action that he did in behalf of all the participants of time. Believe it or not, this was a positive rather than a negative. And if it was something that had to be voted on, the vote, like I said, could take days, and then it needs to be implemented and executed on. So if we were to wait days for us to execute on selling Avalanche, and it passed, as an example, if that was up for a vote as a holder like you and I, it might take 3 days of a vote, even 2 days. Let's just see what would happen over 2 days. So we see we're on the 2nd over here. And by the time we got to the 4th, 2 days later, and then maybe it was executed the next day, because again, we have to wait, time zone, whatever it is. Or maybe it's in the smart contract if the vote is passed through. Again, I don't necessarily know how that works because I'm not a dev. But let's just theoretically say it took 2 days to execute. By the time it was executed, let's just take the top of the 4th over here. Where's the top of the 4th? It would have been sold at $90, so $91 or so. From 116 to 91, that is significant. So in my opinion, I don't care that Sesta is making these calls. However, I do like the fact that now we have a lot more power with voting. So it's a double-sided sword, because situations like this, I believe that somebody like Daniele Sesta having the control is in our best interest, because let's face it, I'm not smarter than him. More than likely, 99% of the viewers watching this are not smarter than him either. I'm going to say it like it is. And I'm not trying to, offend you, but I just know for a fact, I don't know everything there is in the intricacies, and a lot of people don't. So again, I'll leave it at there. Let's actually go to the new stuff that just came out, and breaking news that literally just came out. I have to reload this page just to show you. So what is the actual breaking news here? The news for this video is the fact that SushiSwap is bringing on Sesta as their visionary. Now, SushiSwap is another decentralized exchange, which bears the question, what happens to Trader Joe? There's a lot of liquidity with their pools, given the Wonderland platform. What happens exactly with Trader Joe? Does Trader Joe get kind of pushed to the side? Let's actually break down what's happening in SushiSwap. Now remember, I don't know if Sushi has rallied yet. I was going to tweet that Sushi's going to rally, but I don't want to have an alert of that right now. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. If I were to go ahead and long this, I would have done a 5X. I would have been up 50%. Yeah, exactly. I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't want to call it and be that guy. So I was up and I'm like, oh, Sushi's going to rally, and it's going to rally. It's going to push up very, very hard. But why? What is going on here? Let's actually break this down. So I did this hard work so you don't have to. So I highlighted a bunch of stuff in here that I really want to go over, and kind of the key elements that we need to focus on right now until we watch this entire this entire piece of news unfold in front of us. So first thing is first, I'm going to pronounce stuff wrong. And if you make fun of me in the comments, I'm going to do nothing. So Shoyu is and this again, we're going to break this down now. So Shoyu is an interesting attempt towards decentralized OpenSea. So again, they're trying to basically go out there and create a decentralized OpenSea, if you will. And they carry on to say, but currently does not fit the bill in terms of decentralization or a full feature set that can compete with OpenSea. That's what the project is called. This has been a product the community was excited about, the sushi community. However, the product is too immature. Again, I've never even heard of this, to be honest. So this is absolutely correct. And here's what I will say is that SushiSwap is a phenomenal DEX. But here's the thing, right? It's like Apple in this case. Apple, we can have a debate here because I know there's going to be Android people and there's going to be Apple fanboys. I love Apple, okay? But we're going to have this argument here. It's like Apple hiring 2,000 electric car engineers and just car engineers in general to compete against Tesla. Apple, you're great at what you do. I guess you were great at what you did with innovation until you lost that visionary, Steve Jobs. And you're pushing into a category that you necessarily don't want to compete in because you will be outsmarted and outwitted and out-engineered by Elon Musk. So, and why I'm saying this is because like SushiSwap, yes, they're a fork of Uniswap, they're a DEX. However, I don't necessarily think building out your ecosystem when you're nowhere near the user base of what your fork your competitive fork, which is Uniswap, I think you should maybe garner awareness before you start trying to build things in your ecosystem. Because again, you want to just focus. And I've always known that focus is where growth happens. And tokenomics. We don't need to go into the history of Sushi, but through the fork and the creation of the Sushi token, a vibrant community and an incredible project was created. Sushi created X Sushi model, giving parts of the trading fees to the stakers, a model which in the end was the reason why people got excited about Sushi. And that's correct. That was like their unique angle that they had. So we need to extend efforts on tokenomics and DEX efficiency to remain competitive. And this is where Sesta is going to really thrive. This is where Daniele Sesta understands the economics behind elaborate tokenomic structures. He's just a not even mathematician. He's just a genius at processing how the economics of token structures and just everything behind a token structure should work with governance. With rebase, there's so many aspects to it. So what needs to happen in the eyes of the Frog Nation? Now, this comes back to all of us as the Time Wonderland Abracadabra community. First and foremost, Frog Nation establishes a mandate for a new service collective for Sushi and becomes a part of the combined ecosystem of Abracadabra, Popsicle Finance, and Wonderland, aka Daniele Sesta's entire ecosystem. In the interim, this service collective retains the right to restructure Sushi and define specifically the parameters for governance and an elevated tempo. Now I'm gonna put governance in red over here because this is going to be pretty important as we go down further. So what this is essentially saying is, hey, Sesta, hey, Frog Nation, how would you guys like to determine the future of SushiSwap and what we're going to do? That's essentially what the gist is that I'm getting over here is we're going to take SushiSwap under Sesta's control, but we're going to have a lot of power to vote on where SushiSwap as a DEX goes, which is huge because it gives the power to the people. So during this interim period, Sushi and the new service collective will take part with Daniele Sesta and team, as well as share from know-how and resources that these three projects have. Sushi will always stay at its own, yada, yada. So again, it's saying what is basically being said here is, hey, Sesta and the actual team behind, Sesta that's under him or with him, you guys know what you're doing. So here at Sushi, we kind of need people that know what they're doing. So you guys and your community seem to know what you're doing. So we're going to give it to you guys. Basically that's what's being said. So we're going to go down a little bit, and there's a massive pattern of this one word, two words being thrown around, which kind of goes hand in hand with the earlier announcement today, which is pretty interesting because you'll notice a pattern here is that today's announcements and updates that everybody has been making videos about and tweeting about has all been around governance. Governance in the fact of us as a community, as participants, now we have a say, we have a voice. So we can see over here, change of tokenomics / governance for Sushi. And so let me just highlight this real quick. The mechanism to enable Sushi holders to vote to onsen, but with subsequent rewards automated through analytics. Again, we have voting in here. Sushi holders now have the ability to vote. Continue to work to decentralize MISO through governance. And by the way, just so you know, if we just kind of go down here, you can see MISO is the most successful product that Sushi has. And if you don't know what MISO is from SushiSwap, it's their launchpad. Now, this probably isn't the best article to pull up. It's been hacked, but no fear, we are here. I don't know who we are, but I think it's Frog Nation. We are here to save hacks, I guess. We're not. But long story short, that is their most successful product to date, is their launchpad. So a launchpad, long story, TLDR, you're not here to learn about launchpads. It's where new tokens, new projects can utilize the following of, let's just say SushiSwap in this case, using their Miso platform, give token allocation to SushiSwap and say, hey, sell these tokens at a penny, but when we open up to the general public, it'll be 3 pennies. And the only people that can get in on the pre-sale is, through the launch pad is if they are holders of Sushi, etc. So again, there's a lot that goes into it, but their launch pad is their most successful product, which is interesting. So again, right over here, extending governance to Bento Box and various strategies. What I'm getting from here with this recent governance move is not just from Sushi, is throughout the entire abracadabra, throughout all of Sesta's entire ecosystem, which now includes Sushi. Everything is going to be under a lot of voting power. So in my opinion, I do think that Sesta had a major sit down with Sushi behind the scenes and said, listen, we're going to move to governance. And just so you know, guys, governance, when you vote, it actually takes a look in your wallet and sees how much of these tokens you have. So let's just say Sushi, when you vote on Sushi, if you have 10,000, Sushi tokens, your vote will be worth more. It's weighed more than somebody with 1,000 Sushi tokens. So your vote weighs more in the voting pool, if you will. So let's keep going. Sesta is going to be one of the new additions to the team. But again, you're not here for Sushi, you're here about Sesta. So Sesta as the visionary strategist /strategist. Now notice, they're adding in a head of operations and Matthew, a VP of engineering. Sesta, and I've said this before, and I'm so happy I'm not the only one who sees this. I believe, and I still do, and I think that Sesta is a forward thinker, a visionary, and I'm gonna make a bold statement here. We're looking at a Steve Jobs of DeFi, and he's a great leader and visionary. However, maybe not the best engineer, maybe not the best head of operations. So when I say leader, probably not in that sense, but leader as in he can understand the ecosystem and how to maneuver around it. So again, the existing Frog Nation, us, community will help with getting the project moving in terms of technical sprints, communication, and marketing. Basically saying, hey, listen, Frog Nation, we know how strong you are. We know you're vocal. We're kind of going to need your help with this one. Totally fine. Why? It's because Sesta will point us in the right direction. And I can't wait for those comments that say that I'm riding Daniele Sesta harder than Alexis Texas in a hardcore film. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna add that in there. Okay. Together, we can move DeFi in the right direction where Sushi builds an accessible decentralized exchange used on all chains for everyone. So the only concern that I have really is Trader Joe. Now, I actually haven't checked on this yet. I want to see what happened with Joe. Oh, yeah. All right. So, long story short is Sesta really going to focus a lot of his efforts and really push individuals to use SushiSwap? And what exactly is going to happen with all the LPs when it comes down to time, to Magic Internet Money? I believe that people are still going to go ahead and participate in these pools. However, if Daniele Sesta really pushes SushiSwap as the new DEX to use, period, we're going to see a lot of these LPs, these liquidity providers, they're more than likely going to head over to SushiSwap. I'm interested to see the impact that this has on Trader Joe, because let's face it, because we can see here that we have, Time and Magic Internet Money and Magic Internet Money AVAX, these LPs, they are some of the biggest on the Trader Joe pool. So again, I don't think this is going to have a major impact on Trader Joe. I think Trader Joe is just going to be fine. However, I just am curious to see how this all unfolds. Now, before I end this video off, I still haven't gotten a DM reply from Sesta when we all went ahead and rallied for this interview. He has agreed. I will go ahead and message him again, but it's going to come to a point where I just don't want to annoy him. I know his time is valuable. So I'll tweet out one more time. If you can, guys, please go follow me on Twitter and make sure notifications are on so I can have your help and support one last time to really try to catch his attention. Even though he said yes, I still haven't gotten a reply. Again, I hope it works. I hope we can get him on an interview. I'm getting so many of your questions and I've been writing them down. I have so many notes over here of what questions to ask. I'm really excited about this, but hopefully he pulls through. If not, then one day, I guess. So Hidden Gem fam, it's been real. I am out of here, and I'm also creating another video tonight that I'm gonna release sometime tomorrow because I just can't sleep. So see you, everybody. Have a fantastic night, day, morning, week, month, year, eternity, and when you are dead, I hope you have a fantastic afterlife as well. I'm out of here.